Hi guys, it is Sunday, February the 6th, 2022, and you are with the Zodiac Chatline. I am your host, Tanae. This is my co-host, Cassie. What up, girl?
What's up?
Oh, it's Sunday. It's
It's
Sunday.
Sunday. We're
You
here. We're doing
know,
it.
let's.
So, what do we have going on for us in the universe this week, Tanae?
Well, the great news that we can all continue to rejoice in is that all the planets are what? Direct, which means we can move forward, go forward, proceed with a little bit of caution, but still, we are in the mood to proceed. So we love it, we love it, we love it. And the sun is currently still in Aquarius. What up, what up, what up? We love that. At least I do. And we have Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Pluto, all in our lovely sign of Capricorn. So that energy is still a little, restrictive or limiting, but still produces a lot of growth and ambition and all that fun stuff. But we do have the moon moving right into Taurus, so that's really helpful for all of that Capricorn energy. So yay. Like, yeah, that's how I feel. Like,
I love it.
I am here for that energy.
First quarter moon in Taurus. Let's do it.
Yes. Ooh, that's
Make our plans.
Yes. Exalted energy in Taurus, if you've seen our moon signs. So thank you for joining us. If you do have any questions, Coral definitely will be in the chat, so just drop them in there. And I'm just having one of those days, but I love you guys to be patient. So what's been going on with you, Cassie?
Not much. Just rocking out, ready to do this damn thing. Am I missing something? Should we be doing something? Okay.
No, we are
Other
good.
than getting our guest in?
Yes, we are ready to do that. So we decided for Aquarius season that we needed to find the definition of an Aquarius. And so we found one, and his name is Jason. And we're going to have Jason hop on in with us so we can talk to him.
Jason is our coveted sun and rising in the same sign, both Aquarius, with a Libra moon, just underscoring all of that delightful air sign energy.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Great to see you, ladies.
Oh, wonderful to see you too. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us about what you know about yourself being an Aquarius, astrology,
all this. Wow, it's going to be a very short conversation.
It's just the beginning.
Not much, to be honest. I've been watching your shows, and I hear everything you guys speak about, and it touches me to see how people can connect that with their personal being and their interactions every day, and how they just really can connect the dots between what you're saying to them and what they see show up every day in their personal lives. And I'm very curious to see how mine are going to show up today. But no, I think that not knowing anything about astrology, just knowing myself, I'm very, introverted and very analytical, and, want the best out of everyone around me. But sometimes I project what I think that is onto them versus, really listening to their personal journey. So I know that was very ambiguous, but hopefully you'll tie it all together.
I don't think the word ambiguous. That was a very...
Frankly, that all tracks.
Right. I was about to say, you know who you are, sir. You definitely know who you are. So, Cassie, you want to start?
Sure, yeah. So, yes, you do have the sun in Aquarius. The sun being, your most important planetary influence, and your rising sign in Aquarius as well, which means there's not much of a mask between who you are and who you project to the world, which is, I think, a beneficial thing. It really, you are who you present yourself to be. And Aquarius is very much a humanitarian sign. They are very interested in big groups of people. And your chart, all right, I'm going to cover up your your personal information.
Yeah.
But just so you get an idea of the visual of it. And even though Instagram is going to do it backwards, it doesn't matter, because the point I'm trying to make is that all the planets are up here in the top. So weirdly, in astrology, that top half of your chart is called the Southern Hemisphere,
Okay.
because you're like the direction you're looking at the universe or whatever, the solar system. And when you have all your planets in the top and none in the bottom, it really means that you're focused on the outward existence. Like I'm curious, one question I wanted to ask you was, when do you make yourself the center of attention?
Oh, never.
Yeah, that I imagine that's a hard thing. It's a very difficult thing for Aquarians to do, and you have a lot of other air sign energy, specifically in Libra, and they're like more likely to make like their relationships the center of their world's attention, but not not I don't know. It's what do you think, Tanae?
Yes, right.
I don't want to wade too deep into that.
No, but
right.
I definitely try to learn more about people around me than providing them with the information about myself. And, you know, that's something that I constantly work on, but it is something that's very apparent that I want to know everything about you, but you might get very little from me.
So a lot of that reflects in that you have your sun in Aquarius in the 12th house. And we did do a house conversation the other day, but the 12th house is associated with the sign of Pisces, which is the very last sign of the zodiac. And anything like the sun, which is meant to shine, that's in a house such as the 12th house, which is more like inward and hidden, you value your alone time. Like, people don't really know you. They might know that you exist or know about you, but they don't actually know you. And you keep a lot of that to yourself and hidden. And the 8th house energy prones you to be more investigative and very nosy about other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of their motives and how they do things. And it's always like, okay. But never enough to share about like where you are or who you really are. You have a little bit of your Aquarius energy in the 1st house in Mercury and Mars. And that sometimes I'm sure you have to, I don't want to use the word dumb down, but that's the best way I can explain that. In conversations or how you present your speech to people, sometimes it may go over their heads because you're quick, you're witty, you're hyper intelligent, and you say what you need to say and it comes across very direct. And that's just like you, which is a good thing. I have Aquarius and Mercury. I get it. But sometimes you have to maybe take a step back and understand it from that person's point of view, so you can explain it in that way so that you're at least understood, even if it sounds like magical in your head. When it comes out, that person's like, did he just speak a foreign language to me or what?
Yeah, I tend to be coming across much more technical than probably is necessary. I could really just say, hey, talk to me like a kindergartner, and that's probably a better approach to take to all of that. I actually received that feedback recently that, you know, it's the right information, but it's not the right way to bring it across.
Just delivery. It's never what you
lost.
say. It's how you say it. I encourage you to find a way to express like more concisely. Like for you, it's very technical, and I have a feeling like you make outlines or lists or like a lot of explanations about what you want to say because you want to be clear, you want to make sure you get your point across, but it gets too convoluted because you're getting way too deep with it, and sometimes you need to just kind of like summarize your thoughts after you write them out so intensely.
Absolutely. Yeah, the most salient points.
There you go.
I have a question for you about, because I know you're interested in, you know, learning about things about career, and I know you manage a lot of people. We, in the interest of full disclosure to the audience, we know Jason IRL as we have with several of our other guests. But I was curious, how do you feel dealing with conflict when the parties are extremely emotional? Or
It's hard to understand, actually, to be dead honest. Like, I'm not a very emotionally driven person. Like, it's much more factual. I'm going on a fact finding hunt before I even make the decision. And when people come to me with an emotional, I mean, I ask a lot of questions, but sometimes I don't identify with them because it might seem like, why would that upset you? When it was something you could have had an honest conversation or a point blank. For me, it's like 1 + 2 = 3. Like, we have disruption. Okay, let's just have a conversation about it and be done with it. And a lot of the emotions, I guess, are removed from that decision making, which goes back to that analytical, just, straightforward, get all the minutia out of here type situation. But no, that was a very pointed question, Cassie. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it's because you don't have almost any placements that would suggest you are a very emotionally charged person.
Yeah.
And just thinking about how to relate to people and even relating information to people. I'm a writer and have, somewhat of an analytical mind, but I'm so much more emotional, and I always have, like, my primary drive in my work is connecting with people emotionally. And, marrying those two things is very hard, though. It's hard to make dry information fit a narrative story or, inspire someone in that kind of way. Have you ever read Malcolm Gladwell?
I have not.
Okay. The Tipping Point and Blink by him are both just excellent books about marketing and different, like, they're great informational texts. And I think he's somebody who just does a really good job of finding stories as entrance points into, like, facts and stuff like that.
Okay.
But also you have all these placements in Aquarius, which does give you that analytical, some call it detached. It's often referred to as that type of energy, but you have a lot of placements in Libra as well. Your moon, Saturn, and Jupiter are all basically right there together in Libra. And that suggests that you have a very easy way of connecting with people on an intellectual level. Like, you can really, like, leverage relationships and create harmonious interactions with people in a lot of aspects of your life.
No, I would totally agree. I think that, but it takes work. And I'm not that person that somebody's just drawn to. It's that person that, once we have interactions and you see that, Jason cares, then that's a different situation. Otherwise, it comes across very dry or just to the point. And my personal discovery, something I'm working on, but no, I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So I have a statement. I just want you to see if you can complete this. My emotions are most balanced when
I don't have to deal with them. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. That's not genuine. That's a genuine answer. Yeah. It's a genuine answer.
I should have thought about that one, huh?
I like that.
No, that's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. When you don't have to think about him. Okay.
Yeah. That is the most Aquarius thing. When you can actually set the buckets down, because we've seen the Aquarius symbols, the water bearer, the guy carrying too much. Let me just put this down and go relax.
We're done with it for the day. Yeah. Push it way, way down and put it in that box. And it lives there now.
Right.
Okay. I have another one. I feel most myself when
Feel myself when overthinking things, I guess. That's kind of where I am.
That's the energy you live in. Yeah, I bet. So you have, okay, so, all signs are either fire, air, earth, or water. And you have one fire planet, one earth planet, one water planet, and 7 air signs. And air signs are very much the intellectualizers of the zodiac. So congratulations to you. You live in your head all of the time. How do
Very
you
accurate.
do you find ways to stay grounded? Do you like to be, feel grounded?
I do. I do. I mean, I like a balance. I guess music was something that I always used. That was kind of a creative outlet. And even though I get to live in my head, it was a little bit more outward than just living in my head because I was, sharing that. But, to circle back, I was a drummer, so I got to hide in the back. I would write music, I would do those things, but at the end of the day, I get to be in the back and kind of observe everybody around me. And if the music wasn't good, I just blamed it on the lead singer. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do.
It's rare people at the end of the set are coming after the drummer for ruining it.
Yeah. See, I'm already in that stigma of like, he's the last man out anyway, so just leave him alone.
Right, I'm just packing up this bass drum. Don't worry about me. That's very funny. That's interesting, though. I never really thought about that metaphor as the drummer being kind of like the watcher of the whole thing. You really get to watch everything unfold back there. That's interesting. Never played in bands and have no musical sensibility at all. So when you play music now, going back to Tanae talking about the 12th house, and it is the house of secrets and solitary pursuits and time alone. And thinking about your chart and all of this air energy that probably does, need to be grounded sometimes. It's like, I wonder if he has like a pursuit that he does kind of by himself off without anybody else. Do you perform for groups, or is it something you really do alone, or is the family involved? How does that work for you?
I mean, in the last recent years, it's been pretty much, with COVID, we re-recorded like our old album with the band. We would do it on GarageBand and send it back and forth. So it was very private, but it was very satisfying. Yeah. It was that outlet that kind of gets you out of your head for several moments to be able to feel normal, I guess, in this whole environment that we live in. And just music is something I'm very, very passionate about. But truth be told, my work has taken more of a presence over that than those personal comforts, I guess. So that's something definitely I need to kind of go back to, playing with the kids and just having those interactions, being more outside, doing more things that are not work involved. And I think my wife would tell you, as you know very well, that I wake up and I'm on the computer and I'm doing all this stuff, and I really need to find a way to separate myself from that. But it's easier said than done because, there's this drive to not fail always.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that I think everybody understands that drive, but I also think for you it is it's not something that too much in your chart tends to lend that you just don't have that in you. Like, you're going to succeed even if you take a break. You just have, your energy is always going to be, as you said, humanity, good, it's always gonna, because that's what drives you the most. So I would try to let go of that fear of failure. I mean, we all have it. I mean, I've had it before, but you have so much energy being like, oh, this man is going to be successful beyond whatever you could think of, and just kind of change and transform a lot of lives just based on your energy. I also, as Cassie stated, that you have all the air energy. A lot of your energy is also very masculine, which means you are an action-oriented initiator. Like, you take a lot of action. And within your chart, you have fixed and cardinal energy. So it's like you start something and you finish it. And so you don't really have that indecisiveness. Even with the Libra energy, I think it doesn't even lend to that much indecisiveness because of all of the direct energy is just not in that direction. I kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm just being honest.
No. I absolutely agree. And I was telling somebody about that the other day. They're like, what phrase would describe you? And it was always do what you say you're going to do. It was something my dad told me. But, my whole life was, you were as good as your word. If you don't follow through, then that's a big deal. And that's always stuck with me. And it's always been one of those things. It's like the guiding force of just the trust between the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real. And with the stick-to-itiveness that Tanae was speaking to as well, you have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct each other, like very close together in your chart, which only happens every 20 years. And actually, my husband has the same placement. I believe Coral does as well. But these are people who are drawn toward management, and they have good luck with managing people because Saturn is the planet of task mastering and rule setting, and Jupiter is the planet of luck. So you are better equipped to set the rules and manage people than most people are. And you have all of these placements and all of this energy just suggesting that you are out here in the world making it better, making your mark on it. And one thing, I know you said you never put yourself in the center of attention, but you do have your North Node in Leo, which suggests that your path in this life that you should be walking, thinking about ending up at, is to be let your sun shine, man. Like be a star, be wholly, yourself on display, and command the attention that you have earned. Don't take what's not yours, but do take the attention that you have earned in life.
Yeah. I was going to say, what we found interesting about your karmic path is that the way they're distributed is through the weeks of the zodiac. And you are the first phase of Aquarius. You were born really an early degree of Aquarius. And so it is considered that you're born in the week of Genius. And your karmic path actually starts at that week and ends at Leo, which is the week of authority. And so you have come into this world kind of it's actually pretty amazing. Your sun and rising are the same, so you are who you are, and you've come into alignment with your soul's path to where you came in with the exact tools that you need, and you know how to be this amazing Aquarius that's just genius, almost probably mad scientist sometimes to a point, but you need to extend that out. And Leos love to shine. That is what the sun is born to do. And because it's the week of authority, those type of Leos learn how to rule with like kindness. Do you know what I mean? Like knowing how to, knowing how to, the rules. And as an Aquarius, you're very analytical, but taking that analytical and using your heart a little bit within it. And one of the suggestions of your karmic path, I'm just going to read this, is stay in touch with the world, as Cassie noted, to be grounded. Never forget to be self-aware. Detach once in a while from your work. Insights and breakthroughs are likely to occur. What does what you do say about you? So, you don't need to let your work define you. You let you define you, and your work is just what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's very powerful.
What the intrinsic value, I think, thinking about that of your ability to do your work comes from you. If that makes sense, like, you know what I mean? Like you should stand proud, and you are you're equal to every challenge you face, and you don't have to be on the front lines all the time to stand in that power.
Yeah. I was given some feedback recently about opening up more and sharing more about myself. I guess it's more of that relationship before task type mentality of before you ask anything of anybody, how do you create that genuine relationship?
Yeah.
And it's not that we're not friends, but it comes across very rigid. I guess is probably the best adjective at this point. So no, it lines up with exactly what you're saying right now, and it makes sense. And that I think I expressed earlier that that's very important to me, because you can't interact without awareness of yourself, and then what are you expecting out of others, and how do you support them, and all of that. So
preach it. I hope y'all listening. This man is dropping some gems today.
All that mystic house energy, the 8th and 12th house, like you are definitely like, so again, those houses have natural affinity with the water signs, and as we have previously mentioned, you don't have any powerful water placements. You only have one water placement at all. But you do have all of this air sign energy in the place where naturally water sign energy wants to go. And, in kind of the backup research I was doing in breaking down your chart, one of the thoughts someone had on that was being in the presence growing up and in your family of a lot of very emotional people, and you yourself, having to navigate that in a logical way, which, as somebody who's operates almost solely on emotion, I can only imagine is very difficult for analytical people to deal with. But, I'm certain that if that is the case, if those things were strong imprints on you, then you have a leg up as a manager, because you can actually apply your intellect to what's happening in their emotions. You may not be able to feel it with them necessarily, but Aquarius is a good sign of being able to like participate in someone's emotion without like taking it on. They don't always know how to make that initial dive into it, but they can, if someone's close to them and grieving, like they're going to stand there in that presence and try and help that person, right? It's an Aquarian's instinct to
heal humanity.
In that way.
Even if like Cassie was a great lesson for me in managing with empathy, just in how I was coming across and concerned with people's feelings or lack thereof. And so
what was the phrase you just used? The ask before task? What was it?
Relationship before task.
Relationship before task. That's basically the same conversation I had with you. Like, you have to remember that these people's emotional lives is like the most important thing to them. You got to address that stuff with them before you get mad at them for not busing 13.
Yeah, well, I have to fight my natural inclination to just be very like investigative, like instead of like asking a few questions and listening, I can't rapid fire just be like, but why though? But why did that happen? Why did that? But, so,
because you're like, if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask you 17,000 questions till I get to the bottom of it.
What is the root cause here? But whatever business term.
It seems like you are becoming more self-aware and recognizing as that your strength will be in finding where your heart lies and like really grounding your emotions with other people. Not necessarily, of course, taking them on, but learning to like really acknowledge them as they are.
Well, no, I absolutely agree. None of us are as smart as all of us. And I try to keep that in mind every day whenever I interact.
Spoken like a true Aquarius right there. That is a beautiful...
No, we love you. Okay, go ahead.
We do love you. Okay, I want to get to the game, but I also do want to ask... I have this question for you.
Okay.
What do you think is humanity's biggest flaw, Jason? I'm curious about this because you do seem like you have all these placements that suggest you're a very keen observer of humanity, and I'm curious what you think humanity as a whole's biggest flaw is.
I mean, honestly, in this day and age, I think that we don't ask enough questions to understand, similarly to what we were just talking about, and just that whole empathy and sympathy factor, but sympathetic without being a crutch, but still understanding what's going on around us to help the people that need help, and to, do whatever we need to do for the other ones. But I don't know. The awareness piece is just, it's not there.
Yeah.
Jason for president 2025.
Right? Come on now.
I just want to note that we'll talk about this like later, but I just want to mention that you do have some actually amazing people on your karmic path. And a couple, I'm just going to name a couple. One was Mahatma Gandhi. Another one was Malcolm X. Another one was Alice Walker, which I love me some Alice Walker. Aquarian, of course, like amazing author, poet, all of that. So your path is meant for you to be that inspiration, you know what I mean? And learn what you need to learn, and just kind of, as an Aquarian, spill it out to humanity, like that's what we do best. So, All right, you ready? Okay, so we're going to do this game, and Cassie's going to explain it.
Yes. So we have true and false statements for you. Today and I researched these. These are not common astrological knowledge. It's very obscure facts about astrology. So
Totally
we don't
obscure.
expect you to know this stuff. We're going to see if you guess right.
Can I ask you like 5 questions though before I answer the true false?
No.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
You wouldn't need to know.
We'll be here all night.
We're up against the time.
Yeah. Instagram does give us a time. All right. I'll start.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, true or false? The most common birth date is September the 9th.
True.
That is absolutely true. Very good. The Virgo date of September 9th is the most common birthday, but we figure that's right around Valentine's Day-ish that those lovely children were conceived. So,
nah, girl, that's Christmas party season,
that's
baby.
Christmas. Oh, you're right. My
That's
bad.
my mom's birthday.
Oh,
well, her parents enjoyed their Yule celebration as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. I got a couple kids more, a couple weeks of that, so I get it. Okay. So this one is, the Catholic Church once employed an astrologer at the Vatican.
True.
That is false.
Whoa.
They actually excommunicated someone that they discovered was practicing astrology.
Oh, I thought you could use the telescope to see small children. Sorry.
that's that first house Mercury Mars right there talking. No, don't apologize for being you.
Tell
Okay.
the real truth.
Next, true or false? Aries and Virgo is the most common signs for presidents.
False.
Dang, you're good. That is correct. The actually most common signs for presidents are Scorpios and Aquarius.
See, Jason 2024.
What is Trump?
Whoa,
Gemini.
Anyways. Oops.
You said
Okay.
popular. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
No.
Sorry. I digress.
We love you, Gemini.
We do love the Geminis. Maybe not all of them. Not that particular one. Okay, so astrology dates back to at least 2000 BC.
False.
That is true. Earliest record of astrology is Babylonia. Remember in the Babylon?
Yeah.
Around about 2000 BC. Yeah.
Yeah, I failed this test.
No,
You did great.
You actually did really well.
Kidding.
We wouldn't have known any better.
You're here. You did wonderful. Do you have any questions for us? You want to give him his crystal for his karmic path?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm also going to give you your core lesson and goal, because I think that'll be helpful for you.
Okay.
So your core lesson is choosing and identifying with a principal point of view. Your goal is to understand who you are by dedicating yourself to a chosen field of endeavor. And your crystal or gemstone is optical calcite. It is a lens that shows the individual how to ground ideas with focus. This mineral illustrates how ideas remain abstract until they can be connected to the whole. You keep hearing that term of grounding. I just want you to Keep knowing that. I would encourage you, I don't know how you settle your mind or if that's a thing. And I would encourage you to literally shut off any type of like electrical energy towards your brain for a while. With like 15 to 30 minutes of like no light, no, I mean, you can use like maybe sound, vibrational hertz, but like no screens, no phones, like anything like that. Just so you can kind of tune out because it seems like you're very tuned in to all of the electronics. And I think that your body would be able to ground a lot more without that energy kind of giving it a break.
No, that's a great call out, and my wife brought that up to me earlier. I am
We heart.
plugged in all the time, and I made an intentional effort today to not, and just
Yes.
I did check it twice, but that's much better.
You're
than,
only human.
Right. Just a little bit.
But I agree. I totally agree. To be there for the family and just to live in the moment, which is not very often top of mind. It's like work, get it done.
Listen, life is a forward moving gift. The only thing we can truly, truly appreciate is the present. So we got to stay there as much as we can.
Well, thank you for that wisdom. I appreciate it.
Hey, that's
Did
what
you
we're
have
here for.
any last questions for us
I think
before
you
we
answered
kick
it.
you out?
I was going to ask about like the Aquarius sun and the rising, and I think you answered that question already.
You are who you are, and
I am who I am.
We love him. I do, especially. I get you.
Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you guys inviting
Thank
me
you
on
so
tonight.
much.
Thank you for coming on with us tonight. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Shout out to Jason, Aquarius sun, Libra moon, Aquarius rising. Thank you for sharing your energy with us. And we will see you next time.
We'll see you on the social.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks. He is our biggest fan, by the way.
I am.
Oh, shots fired in the chat. Oh, that is awesome.
Oh my
we have
goodness.
Had so much air sign energy on this show. Do you realize? That's crazy. A lot of air and a lot of fire.
It's okay. We're gonna
water.
They don't want to be on the show yet. It's okay. They will once we get going. We're getting more towards their season. Remember, Capricorn, we started in Capricorn season. They just don't believe in astrology.
Right, yeah, they're passing over this entirely.
So I think we're going to get some water, and we're going to get some water energy coming up here shortly. So I'm excited about that. So you want to go to these questions?
Yes. So we got a couple audience questions.
All right, so I'll read the first one. It is from someone who joined us. Thank you, Katie, at Hey Kowalski. She wants to know, could you please talk about the transition of your signs into other signs throughout your life? How does that work?
I was comments in the chat.
I see all the time.
Okay, so Katie, Hey Kowalski, always coming through with the intense realist of astrology question. So there's there's a lot of different ways that astrology is interpreted. And one thing that some astrologers focus on, and I do think it's a very interesting concept, is the idea of progressed planets. So I'm going to be honest, I ran out of clock time to research exactly how this is calculated for each planet. But the idea is basically you live through every year or so, at least with respect to the sun, you live through 1 degree of your sun sign. So where your sun was placed in the sign of, for me, in the sign of Cancer, it was fairly early in that. So I spent a lot of my life as a Cancer. And then at age, 23 or so, 22, I would have moved into my Leo phase, because that would be the next sign that your sun would, for me, my sun would progress into. That's the sign that follows Cancer in the zodiac. I do think it's very interesting, because I definitely in my 20s and certainly in my 30s have embraced, center of attention type energy, which I have also always loved in some aspects, but just kind of subverted it under other things like concerns about what people thought of me, which is the silliest thing. But to be honest, I don't know, a ton about it. And I think, our discussion of the houses really, underscored that your life is an evolution, and astrology is just one way to tap into patterns that affect, the course of your life, that can change it for better or worse. And if, learning more about the way the planets could be progressing into other energies and how that might, have implications in your points of view and who you are changing as you get older, if that resonates, I think that's worth looking into. And I'll probably dive into it more. I've been trying to just read everything I can about astrology, like when I have free
time. There's
time.
just so much,
and people take all different kinds of viewpoints on it. It's fascinating. So I think that's a really interesting concept, and it's one I honestly don't know much about. So
with Cassie, my progressed sun was in Aquarius up until I was 19. And the interesting thing about that is that it really talked about independence. And at 19 is when my mom passed away. And then it kind of shot me into Pisces, where my feelings and all of that kind of where I'm currently.
Spirituality.
Right. It completely came into play. So it's very interesting. It is different for everyone. And like Cassie, I too, I don't feel very well versed in it. But you can definitely, Cassie and I we're going to definitely do the research. And so at a later date, I'm sure we can come up with the more technical answer, but, it is different for everyone. And I feel like, you kind of know when you're transitioning into something different, where your energy kind of moves, how that goes.
Absolutely. So the next question, is from @K_Ron. Who is amazing, Karen. A Virgo queen. How do I find out my rising sign?
So I'm a huge fan of the website astrotem.com. But basically you just need to know, you have to really know your actual time of birth. That is the most important factor in knowing what your rising sign is. If you don't, unfortunately, there's just no real way to figure it out. I mean, it could take it, but it's just not very simple. But knowing your time of birth, and you entered into pretty much any Google what's my natal chart and entered it into anything, it'll ask you your date of birth, time, city and state, and it'll boop, 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 pop right up. If you're seeing a picture of your natal chart that's a circle, you'll see something that says ASC, and that stands for ascendant or your rising sign. That word is actually interchangeable. It's just called ascendant because that's the sign that the moon was rising on the eastern horizon at your time of birth, and then rising is rising sign. So that is how you find it. But you can come on the show and we can talk all about it if you want to.
Karen, all day, every day.
We
come
are
on the show.
We are about that life. So if you can,
that goes for everyone here out there in the universe. You want to come
please
talk on the show? Come do that with us.
We got space. We got space. We want you on here. We want to talk to everybody, empower. We love meeting different people. We love seeing different energies and charts. And if you have watched all the shows up until this, everybody's chart is different. Everybody's energy is expressed differently, nuances, angles, conjunctions, opposites, all of that fun things. We have met lovely people whose sun and risings are the same. Wow. So
two whose karmic paths started in the same week they were born, which this feels pretty. The odds of that are 1 in 52, obviously, for those things to match up. So to have had that twice already in 6 episodes where we've read charts. Interesting.
So thank you guys. If you do want to, Coral just dropped our Gmail in there, so just send us that if you have anything you want to talk about. We're there. We monitor it just because We like to do that.
You want to be a guest? The website also for the charts is Astro10, but it's spelled like astrotheme.com for
It's
us
en français.
Americans.
It's en français.
French.
Yeah. Oui.
Yeah.
So it is, but what I do like about that particular website is that it does kind of, it brings up your chart. It shows the degrees in which you were born. It gets, you know, it tells you the houses. They do give you some descriptions. Sometimes they're a little, you know, obscurish, but at least if you know the basics of how to look at your chart and where you can find certain things, it's really a great visual. I'm a visual learner, you know? So,
Gonna pull a card for us?
yes, we will see you guys on Thursday. We'll be back up in here. 10 o'clock, you know, that's the time. We don't do 11 o'clock no more. Even with daylight savings time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for those of you who are not on the East Coast like us. So tonight, I'm going to one of my favorite decks. Bam, bam, bam. We gonna get a crystal card. We gonna get a crystal card. So we got the Eternal Crystal Oracles from Jade Sky.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Sky. Love
Hello.
that.
So always thank you guys. Thanks for always being in there with us on the grams. We are on YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitters. We will be moving to other ones too. I bet you just keep looking out. You never know.
You
We're
guys,
expand.
what do you want? You want us on Twitch? You want us on YouTube? Tell us what we should be doing. Like,
we feeling good about this. So
yeah, we're breaking out of our boxes here.
Listen, ooh, I like this one. We got a what? Carnelian.
Oh, that's a good stone. I haven't owned one of those in a long time. I should get one.
I love that. That's a good old Aries stone from what I understand. All right, so we have carnelian with self-confidence and the root and the sacral chakras. So we are still talking about this grounding energy today. So folks, with all that Capricorn and Taurus energy, I think that's the move. And it's number 9, which is the Hermit in the tarot. So that gives a lot of introspection. So grounding and introspection. All right. Let me turn to the right page and then we can get it going. Okay. Stand tall, be self-confident and positive. Let your light shine brightly because there is an energy of great success around you today. This success may come in the form of important gatherings, business meetings, or even personal accomplishments. As you shine brightly, notice how people are naturally attracted and drawn to you. Like attracts like. So if you want to attract a positive, self-confident person into your life, you need to be like that yourself. If you feel like you need more self-confidence or you want to regain your sense of self-worth, do something positive that you enjoy doing. When you do something which makes you happy, your spirit shines brightly, which makes you even more magnetic. If you can't think of anything that you like to do today, it may be a sign that it's really time to try and reawaken your inner creativity. Dare to dream, think outside of the box, start to experience life again. See, feel, taste, and smell. Perhaps go somewhere you have never been before or do something out of the ordinary to stimulate your senses and expand your vision. Carnelian gives you energy of self-confidence that adds spice and passion to your life. It also encourages you to think clearly about what you want to accomplish in your life and to focus on what you would like to achieve. Think about what you need to do to make that happen and then take the first step towards one of your goals.
Jason, I hope you're still watching.
Listen, when I say goddess speaks, don't she speak? I'm like, I'm with it, you know. Like
yes.
What happens is always supposed to happen. But thank you to everybody.
Thank you to Jason. Thank you to everyone who hopped in the chat. Thank
attitude
you
of gratitude
follows.
all day. You heard, yay! Thank you. Shout out to everybody that hops in, that sees us. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for always just giving us the love and the energy. I mean, we've been doing this for just over a month and we are really enjoying ourselves and connecting with all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Cassie, I could not do this without you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
It's a
Always.
blessing to be here again.
You know what, Moon Sister? We will see y'all on Thursday. It's all love.
Bye.
Peace.